Today's video is sponsored by the team over at 𝐓𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐬. 𝐓𝐓𝐻𝐻𝐻 is a complete Bitcoin mining solutions provider and the largest distributor of Bitcoin mining equipment in the United States. 𝐓𝐻𝐻𝐻 is your one-stop shop for everything ASIC mining, from Bitcoin miners ranging from the S19 Pro Hydro all the way up to the Antminer S19J Pro. If you're looking to take mining to the next level, 𝐓𝐓𝐻𝐻 has you covered. With facility build-out services, turnkey mining containers, power transformers, and finally complete hosting services. Check them out at the link down below in the video description. Thanks again to 𝐓𝐻𝐻𝐻 for supporting the hobbyist miner community.
What is going on, miners? Welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, today we're heading out to our shed here. It's a little chilly. It's about 9 a.m. and I think we're in the 40s right now, but it's definitely getting down there. So we're going to be doing some work on our shed with our ASIC Bitcoin miner. So let's go ahead and go over on this side. Before we go in, I want to show you guys. All right, so our intakes have been working awesome. We do need to go ahead and swap out the filters and clean them. I don't even know if you can see. They're awfully gray. They should be blue. So this hooded vent right here has not been used since we went ahead and set up the shed. We're going to be using this as our intake. It does have a kind of rodent guard here on this side. I do have it kind of taped off with some plastic inside right now just to not allow airflow. On this side here, we got to watch out. We got some bees hanging out in here. Look at this Animal Planet right down in there. So we do have the exhaust side right over on this side here. I'm not going to get too close. Don't want to deal with the bees. I'm hoping to let them die out before I need to call somebody to get rid of them. I've tried all different sprays and things and these little home things over here. Little orange thing there, trying to kill them. Anyways, let's go into our shed. Away from the bees. I'm going to try to talk a little bit louder. Okay, so a few things to take a look at. All right, so in here it is running great. 68 or 60 on this side of the shed, and on the exhaust side, we're 66 on the exhaust side over here. So things have been running really good. We have this exhaust fan, that exhaust fan, this exhaust fan off. Right now we only really need to run this one here, and this one's only running at a speed of 3. That you guys can see. I don't know that I'll give you guys a tour inside here anytime soon, but hey, here it is. So yeah, so 68 degrees on the exhaust side at 28% humidity, which is awesome. Electric right now, our ASIC is right here, 2900 watts. We then have 2600 watts on the other 30 amp, and it's hard to see that one. 49 on that one there. So let's cruise over here. I did just power off a few rigs. Everything else has been on and running. Up top here, we're missing a handful of our mini ASICs because they're actually inside in our 4th bedroom, heating up the 4th bedroom, which is awesome. I have 3 of them in there. Our iPolos, these other mini ASICs are all on. These iPolos are on. We also have, this is my cousin's rig that I'm hosting for him. That is on 𝐓𝐻𝐻𝐻. I gotta mess with that. I have a bunch of the GPUs unplugged. I've been having a bunch of issues with it. I think it's a problem with the PCI adapters touching each other. I need to look at some of Chump Change's videos. I think he has done some like electrical tape around them. But more recently, I saw that there's some design that sells like a 90-degree angle, so these don't touch. I have to look at that. DJ Mine's rigs over here, working hard, mining. Down below, I just turned this off because we are going to move this rig. This is our Octominer X12. It has 12 6600s in it on the 𝐏𝐸𝐴 because we're going to be working down here. We'll circle back to it. This guy is on right now as well. These are our 580s on 𝐓𝐻𝐻𝐻. Here is today's VIP, our Bitmain Antminer S19J Pro. It's been sitting in here running for over 22 days now. It's actually kind of quiet because it's cold in here. As it warms up, it does get a lot louder, and we're going to be working with this today. We do have This is our Wolf rig. It has our 3060s and 3070s in it on flux. I just powered this off today when I came out earlier this morning. This has a bunch of our flux 1070 Ti's and 2060s. One of these fans went bad in the case and is making a ton of noise, so I could hear it from outside the shed, so I powered it off. What else do we have on here? What do we have in this one? Oh, we have some more 3060, 3070s in here. And then in our last rig over here in our Polo miner, this one has like 1660 Ti's on Ravencoin, and that one's up and running right now as well. So what are we doing out here after we gave a quick tour of our shed going on? Oh, we did also install an access point in the meantime, giving you guys a quick update on that. So that is doing wireless in the shed to some of the mini ASICs, as well as when I have the laptop out here. So anyways, what are we doing? So we're starting back on our project, guys. We're starting back on working on our S19J Pro, and our goal is to help eliminate the amount of noise it makes. Right now it's not bad. I have a shotgun mic installed and I'm talking right into it, and it's actually quiet. But when it gets up like 60, 70 degrees outside, this thing starts screaming. So we're gonna be removing the fans again. We're back at it. The fans on the front, the fans on the back. I have this brand new kit that was sent to me. It's awesome. I can't wait to show it to you guys. I have two kits actually. We're gonna use the one. So we're gonna get into that today. So what do I need to do? So here's the outside of that intake vent. I just covered it with like a trash bag, and then I actually zip tied it off. You can see there's like a little bubble of air there. That is capped off for now. We're gonna be utilizing that as our intake. We're moving our X12, and I'm thinking about moving this rig and this rig inside the house into our crypto mining room. We're utilizing that now. And then if we come around here to the other side, see, I don't like kind of the mess on the floor here. That's just temporary because this is a temporary spot for the ASIC miner. Here's the exhaust taped off. We're gonna remove that as well. So we're gonna have the ASIC sitting right over here, exhausting out that side, and then our intake is on the other side. So let me go ahead and head inside, and I'll show you guys this new kit that we're gonna be using for this, and we're gonna get to work today.
All right, guys, I wanted to introduce you to the kit that we're going to be using today and working on. This is it's sold on Amazon, but it's from a company named Fruits and Associates. And I've actually been chatting with them back and forth quite a bit. Wanted to learn a lot more. So this kit, for those of you guys that are the 3D printer experts and stuff like that, I've used ones in the past that use the material called a PITA, but this one is actually printed against this, you guys would know better than me, this high dense material ABS in order to withstand the high temperatures. So if that's helpful for you guys on putting your mind at ease, hopefully that does help you out a little bit. So let's take a look at this kit. So this kit here, you guys can see new deluxe cryptocurrency cooling kit with PSU cooling 2 3/8 kit. So that's going to come into play when we start to talk about the power supply, and I'll show you guys in a second, for the S19 Pro and D7. So this is the kit. Look at this thing, guys. It is like it's something space agey like, you know, but it's awesome. So take a look. So it bolts directly up to the actual ASIC with the fans removed. And then on top of that, this is where it's different than some of the past experience things we've done. It actually routes air directly into the power supply. Those 3 tubes that you guys see there, those actually go right into the power supply themselves. Now you still keep the power supply fans in place. You don't remove those, but it routes some of that air over top of the power supply. Based off of some of the things that I have learned, the power supply fans are just as guilty as the larger fans with the noise and that high-pitched squealing that you guys do see. So on the back end side here, this is the exhaust side. So it's capturing the exhaust from the power supply as well as the rest of the ASIC, funneling it down to an 8-inch setup, and then it's going to get exhausted out the back, which is awesome. Here is where we were talking about with the 2 3/8. So the distance between the front of the ASIC and the power supply, this model is designed for those that are 2 3/8. And then this is what everything should look like when we're all said and done. Now, the nice thing is
This utilizes an AC Infinity 8-inch inline fan, which is awesome. Like, those are my bread and butter. I love those. And it literally, look, you can see it just slides right in the way it's designed. You're not doing anything crazy, and you clamp it down and off you go. That's your intake side. So we're replacing the 4 high-pitch 6,000 CFM fans with this 800, those are RPM, this 800 CFM inline fan, which is so much quieter and such a better design, and then everything hooks directly through it. There's more pictures there, more pictures there, and more pictures there. So this is the kit itself. Go ahead, check it out on Amazon. I'll put a link directly down below. I'm trying to think if there's anything else here. This only fits PSU facing ASICs with 2 3/8 spacing. It only fits APW 1215 PSU. So you can take a look at that. You can see it's both power, the inlet's at the bottom. So you know where you plug in your power supply at the bottom, that's where you'd find it. And it even says here, requires AC Infinity S8 blower, which is that inline fan. So you have your cost here of the shroud, 175. Go ahead and take a look. Looks like there's only 19 of these left. They're all printed on the spot, which is awesome. And then up top here, you can take a look. AC Infinity, as you guys know, I love these. I've used these in multiple places within my farm. You can take a look at the S8 up here, which gives you a price of $179 if you're interested. Now, that does have the manual controller. I'm going to be using that for testing, but then I'm going to move to the controller 69, which allows you to set up schedules, allows you to set up some airflow changes. My goal is to, when it's cold, like really cold out, like 30 and below, have the fan slow down so that it's not sucking in as much cold air. And then when the temperature warms up a little bit, it's maxed out. I'd rather it slow down and not be pulling in. In Pennsylvania, we can get down to probably the teens or a little bit lower, and I'd rather it not go too low. I just don't know what that's going to do with it first year using this, so I'm going to do some adjustments there to play with that. You'll also need some of the ductwork, so you can pull in ductwork here. Make sure you get 8-inch ductwork. You're going to need this between everything if you're hooking it up properly. So here they have it right on AC Infinity's site. If you guys are getting anything from AC Infinity's site, don't forget I do have a discount code, the Hobbyist Miner. It gets you 15% off, so save a few bucks. We're all trying to save money right now. Finally, the last thing that I will be using is this foil rubber tape. I use this on everything when it comes down to, I don't just rely on a hose clamp, anything with airflow. Between anything, I will put the foil tape in place. The same stuff you use for like ductwork and stuff like that. You don't have to use this exact one. I just wanted to show you guys an example of what I will be using. So, all right, let's get to work.
All right, we're back out in the shed. We do need to go ahead and power down our ASIC here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and unplug it, let it sit for a few minutes to let it go ahead and everything cool down. It won't take too long. That kit that I was just showing you guys, so it's going to replace these 2 fans over top of here. These fans are going to get removed, the fans in the back, and then that piping that was on that deluxe unit is going to go over and cover the power supply fans. So all the intake for this is going to come shooting through here, come through here, and through here, and then exhaust out the backside. It's going to be super cool. So I'm going to get this disconnected. I need to move the X12 here, and then we're going to get to work. All right, so we made some progress. We removed the fans from the front. We did go ahead and have to remove the fans being plugged in directly on the board up here. There's 4 slots for those to get plugged into. This is the 4-pin, and then we removed our fans on the back here. So this thing is actually pretty dang dirty. I guess you don't really realize it until you take everything apart. So I am going to take it out back and blow it off. These are the fans that we did go ahead and remove here. These are the crazy high RPM fans. I'll put up on the screen now if I can find this model here. what the actual RPMs are, as well as the CFM. The CFM, I did some research regarding like the units, and those are about 250 CFM each. So 500 CFM on the front and 500 CFM on the back, but I'll find out about the RPMs moving forward. So now what's next? We're going to clean this out, and then we do need to install our dummy plugs up top here, and then we're going to get our shrouds installed. So let me get this cleaned up and we'll keep moving. All right, I thought I'd show you guys the dummy plugs are installed right here and good to go. They come with the kit, turn out perfect. They fit there. These are actually different dummy plugs than the ones that I used on my last setup where we had our fire deal going on. So now our next step, we're going to put the lids back on the top. We're going to put the unit on its side, and then we're going to install the shroud, which connects directly to the power supply. All right, guys, we're making good progress. Dude, this came together so well. Look at these things. It's like a little jet engine here. So it uses the existing screws that came with it, which is awesome. That came with the ASIC. Now, when I took those off, like there's nothing holding the fans in place. So I was like super sensitive and took my time on just unscrewing them. And the instructions were great. On the previous page, it actually tells you to lay it on its side so the fans have something to rest against so they don't fall over inside of the power supply. Now, for the fan guards, there's nothing in here. So if the guys over at Fruits and Associates are watching, nothing in here about the guards. It does tell you to remove the 12 screws holding the fan guards, but it doesn't tell you, like, do you need the guard or not? So I held the guard up to it, and it doesn't allow to have a good seal up in here. It actually creates an obstacle. So my guess is, assuming you don't need the guard, because it's not open, it's actually completely closed off. You could barely even like see in here and touch the fan. That'll be covered anyway. So just something I thought about. Took a little time just to look at that. But now our next steps, we're going to install the shroud for the intake side. I am loving this kit. This thing is coming together so well. You can tell it's really well designed. So our piping into our power supply here leads up nice and snug right in here. There's no holes or anything like that. It perfectly fits in there. Once you take a look inside, look, you can see like our intake's going to come this way, and then it's going to go right in here. It's got nice and shaped, and then this is super secure. And they provide you these 4mm screws that fit up. It's completely sealed. You don't have any gaps or anything like that, which is awesome. So let's now get the exhaust side installed. Okay, intake is installed. This came together really, really well. So there's 2 screws over here on this side that help to secure the power supply side. There isn't really any other screws. So I noticed they put in like this rubber grommet around the power supply here to seal that off. So it's a really good idea. This is the only area that I noticed that isn't covered by the entire thing. But other than that, everything fits so perfectly. I did have to prop up the ASIC a tiny bit to get everything on. It wasn't lining up at first. But this is awesome. So if we take a look at our instructions, we're on to step 10 here. Install your 8-inch fan blowing into the ASIC. I like how they specify that. And tighten it up. Hose clamp, which will clamp to the blower. Don't over tighten. It should be snug. Once you finish the assembly, it should look like this, which is awesome. So we're going to install our now inline fan on the intake side. This is the AC Infinity. Let me turn this around here. 8-inch inline fan. Look at that. Brand spanking new. This does not come with the kit, guys. You have to buy it separately. If you guys are looking for these, I'll put a link down below. I actually have a discount code to get you 15% off on AC Infinity's site. So definitely try to save yourself some money where you can right now. But the nice thing is this is 800 CFM. It's an 8-inch inline fan. And man, it puts out the airflow, and it does have a controller along with it. Now with the controller, we have 2 options. We can do manual, or you can actually have it set up with a sensor. So I'll show you guys that in a future video there. But yeah, this is awesome. I'm excited for that. So then something else here, before you start your ASIC, please make sure you operate the blower at least 3/4 the speed. So for our testing, we're gonna have max speed. And then remember, you're in charge of your ASIC cooling. So it'll be your responsibility to check your temperatures and adjust accordingly, which makes a ton of sense. So in the picture, we'll show you here, make it easier. This is what our layout's going to look like. The only thing we're going to put before the inline fan is this guy here. So we have a new intake filter box here. I'll open that up and take a look. And so this is going to, the inline fan is going to sit on this side. And then we have our intake filter here. And this is nothing crazy, so I am going to have to replace this and get some replacements for these. But I will put a link down below to this. I think this was from like 𝐓𝐴Csupply.com or something like that. But I wanted something significantly smaller. The one that I had in there was the AC Infinity filter box, and it was just too big. It was too massive. It took up so much room. So this will be a good alternative. There's nothing wrong with it. It will do the trick. And this one here, if you guys are looking for model information, FGR 200, I'll put a link down below to it if you guys are looking for it. So this is going to sit like in front, and then the ASIC's going to sit on the back side. So let me get everything installed, and guys, we're going to head out to the shed. All right, so intake is installed. The tape that we used here, I love this. This has been amazing. The name is, I can't think of it, to be honest with you. I'll put a link down below. This is the stuff that you use. It's like flex tape or something like that. You use this for air ducts and things like that. It just does it's super sticky. It's like a foil tape, I think is what they call it. But it did not recommend this. It didn't suggest it. It didn't say you needed it in the instructions. But I always feel more comfortable when I'm connecting 2 items together with hose clamps. I'm like, I don't want to rely on hose clamps, honestly. Now, I will say the intake, the inline fan hooked up beautifully. So kudos to the team over at, here, we'll put it right here. There you go. Fruits and Associates. I'll put a link down below to the listing on this. This came together really well. We put the hose clamp in. We made sure we didn't over tighten it. It's just snug. So the tape definitely worked out well. Now, here is our filter box. Now, look at our difference here in height. So when I'm going to go out and install this in the shed now. And what I may do is build like a little lift with wood, a little table almost to bring this up. It doesn't need to be much, but just a tiny bit, because I'd rather the airflow be straight through versus like weird, you know, like all of a sudden a decline and stuff like that. So I'm going to go out and get that set up. So we'll go ahead and show you guys what we have here shortly.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.